3 pounds of explosive charge are pressed flush against the doorframe. Your thumb sits on the initiator. Behind you, 4 of the most dangerous operators on the planet are stacked tight, waiting for the sound that changes everything. You exhale once, you send it. The frame disintegrates, and you are the first one through. While the world focuses on the shooters, it's you, the breacher, who makes every room entry possible. This is your life as every rank of a Tier 1 breacher. This video is a dramatization for entertainment and educational purposes. The details presented are based on publicly available information, veteran interviews, and declassified training doctrine. Specific tactics, unit compositions, and operational methods remain classified. Breaching is one of the most specialized and physically dangerous roles in special operations. The operator responsible for defeating any barrier between an assault force and its objective. Doors, walls, gates, reinforced bunkers. Nothing stays closed when you arrive. Today, we're walking the full journey from your first block of demolitions training to the highest levels of Tier 1 breach operations. Let's begin. You're knee-deep in red Georgia clay at Fort Leonard Wood, and the drill sergeant is screaming about pressure plates. You are a combat engineer recruit, and right now, you don't know the difference between a DEET cord ring main and a garden hose. But that's about to change. Your days start before sunrise with land navigation and end long after dark with demolitions theory, prime charges, detonation systems, blast mathematics. You learn that breaching isn't about brute force, it's physics. You calculate explosive net weight, standoff distance, and fragmentation patterns before you ever touch a live charge. Your first detonation is a controlled field exercise, a simple cratering charge against a concrete slab. You press the clacker, the ground shakes, and something shifts inside you. This isn't abstract anymore. You spend months learning mechanical breaching too. Sledgehammers, Halligan bars, bolt cutters, hydraulic spreaders. Your instructors make one thing painfully clear. Explosives are the last resort, not the first option. A smart breacher reads the obstacle and picks the fastest, quietest, most effective method, not the loudest. By the time you graduate, your hands are calloused, your ears are ringing despite the double protection, and you understand something most soldiers never will: how structures fail. That knowledge is your foundation. Everything builds from here. You've earned the title no one hands out lightly, qualified breacher at the battalion level. You're now the guy your platoon leader turns to when a door needs to come down during a raid, and raids come often. Your first real-world breach happens on a deployment to a dense urban environment. The target is a residential compound with a reinforced steel gate and a heavy interior door. You rig a strip charge on the gate and a water impulse charge on the interior door. 2 breaches, timed 4 seconds apart, synchronized with the assault element's movement. The gate folds, you push forward. The second charge sends the door inward off its hinges. The team flows through like water, and the objective is secured in under 90 seconds. Nobody congratulates you. That's how you know you did it right. At this level, you're also the one who handles unexploded ordnance calls, route clearance support, and field expedient demolitions. Your platoon depends on you for problems no one else can solve. But you're beginning to feel the ceiling. Battalion-level operations are reactive. You want to be on the teams that go looking for the hardest doors in the world. You start putting together your packet for special operations selection. The helicopter banks hard over a mountain ridge you're not allowed to name, and you are now a special operations breacher. Selection nearly broke you. Weeks of sleep deprivation, psychological stress, and physical output that pushed you past anything you thought your body could handle. But you made it, and now you're operating at a pace that makes your old battalion feel like it was standing still. Your team hits 3, sometimes 4 targets a night during peak tempo deployments. You're breaching in mud-walled compounds, steel shipping containers converted into weapons caches, and underground tunnel complexes rigged with improvised explosive devices. Every door is a puzzle, and some of those puzzles are designed to end you. You learn to read a door in seconds. Hinge placement, frame material, lock type, potential barricades, possible booby traps. You develop a feel for it, an intuition built on hundreds of entries. Your explosive breaching toolkit expands dramatically. You're now working with precision-cut sheet charges, flex linear-shaped charges, and thermic breaching torches for hardened steel. You train in close-quarters battles so extensively that the sound of your own charge detonating becomes a starter pistol. The moment it blows, you're already moving. Your reputation grows quietly. The team leaders know that when you're on the stack, the door is never the problem. But Tier 1 recruiters are watching, and they have a very different definition of problem. You're sitting in a windowless room at a compound most people don't know exists, and someone slides a folder across the table with a target package inside. Welcome to Tier 1. The selection process for this level is a thing of legend. Months of evaluation that tests not just your body, but your judgment, creativity, and ability to perform under conditions designed to simulate the worst night of your life. As a Tier 1 assault breacher, you are now among the most capable operators on the planet. The missions are no fail. The targets are the highest value. The margin for error is measured in inches and milliseconds. You breach embassy walls in denied territories. You defeat vault doors on objectives so sensitive that the mission itself will never be acknowledged. You work with explosive compositions and delivery methods that don't exist in any conventional field manual. Your charges are custom built for each target, tailored to the exact wall thickness, material composition, and structural layout provided by intelligence analysts. One mission sends you to a fortified compound in North Africa. The target has reinforced concrete walls, steel core doors, and a safe room built to withstand a vehicle-borne explosive. You design a 3-phase breach plan: a wall breach to bypass the front entirely, a follow-on mechanical breach for an interior partition, and a precision explosive defeat on the safe room door. Execution is flawless. The assault force is inside the safe room in under 40 seconds from the first detonation. This is what Tier 1 means. Perfection isn't the goal, it's the minimum standard. They don't just hand you a door anymore, they hand you the entire building. As master breacher and lead breacher for your assault troop, you are now responsible for the breach architecture of every operation your element conducts. You study satellite imagery, construction blueprints, and engineering assessments for hours before you ever touch a charge. You wargame breach points against every contingency. Primary breach fails, secondary breach is barricaded, tertiary entry requires an explosive mouse hole through a bearing wall. You plan for all of it. Your role has expanded beyond just explosives. You're the one coordinating with intelligence officers on structural analysis, working with drone operators to get angles on hidden entry points, and advising the ground force commander on which approach gives the assault element the greatest speed and surprise. During a hostage recovery rehearsal in an allied nation's training facility, you design a simultaneous 4-point breach on a 3-story building. 2 explosive, 1 ballistic, 1 mechanical, all initiated within a half-second window. The synchronization is so precise that the building seems to open all at once, like a box being unfolded. The assaulters clear all 3 floors in under 2 minutes. Your team sergeant pulls you aside afterward and says 5 words. "That was the best I've seen." You don't smile. You're already thinking about what you'd change next time. You're standing over a sand table model of a 4-story compound in eastern Yemen, and 12 operators are waiting for your word. You are the breacher cell leader and team sergeant now. You don't just plan breaches, you run the entire tactical problem from approach to extraction. Every operator in your element looks to you for the standard, and you set it high. You select and mentor every breacher who comes into the unit. You evaluate their judgment under stress, their technical precision, and something harder to measure, their instinct. Can they feel when a door is wrong? Can they adapt in the 2 seconds between plan and chaos? You run training cycles that simulate the most complex target sets on Earth. Multi-structure compounds, subterranean facilities, maritime vessels, and aircraft fuselages. You build scenarios where the primary breach fails on purpose, just to see how your breachers respond. The ones who freeze wash out. The ones who transition seamlessly to a backup method. Those are your people. On deployment, you're the last one to sleep and the first one in the planning bay. You review every charge, every initiating system, every contingency. Because if a breacher makes a mistake on target, it's your name on the accountability line. The weight of that responsibility is immense, but you carry it. Because no one in this unit does anything alone, and the standard you walk past is the standard you accept. You haven't personally set a charge in 2 years, but every breacher in the unit carries something you taught them. As Senior Enlisted Advisor and Operations Sergeant Major, you now operate at the intersection of tactical excellence and strategic influence. You sit in briefings with general officers and agency directors, translating what happens at the breach point into language that shapes policy, funding, and doctrine. You review after-action reports from every Tier 1 operation and identify patterns. Emerging construction techniques in hostile nations, new barrier materials showing up on target, evolving threats at the entry point. You feed those findings back into the training pipeline, so the next generation of breachers is always ahead of the problem. You travel to allied special operations units to exchange techniques and evaluate joint interoperability. You testify, behind closed doors, on capability gaps and equipment needs. Your word carries weight because it's backed by a career's worth of doors kicked, walls breached, and missions completed at the highest level. And yet, the moment that defines you isn't any single operation. It's the quiet pride of watching a young breacher you mentored execute a flawless entry on a no-fail mission, knowing that the skills in their hands passed through yours. That legacy, passed from one breacher to the next, generation after generation, is the thing that lasts longer than any medal or commendation. You started with a block of C4 and shaking hands. You end as the person who shaped how an ENT community thinks about defeating the world's hardest barriers. Along the way, you blew open doors in places that don't appear on any official record. You trained when your body begged you to stop. You held the initiator when failure meant the lives of everyone behind you. And you never flinched. The Tier 1 breacher doesn't get the spotlight. You won't find their names in headlines or history books. But every successful operation, every hostage brought home, every objective secured, every threat eliminated before it could reach innocent lives, started with one person and one moment: the breach. And that person was you. If this deep dive into the world of Tier 1 breaching resonated with you, subscribe for more explorations into the most elite military and intelligence ranks. Next, we're uncovering the hidden hierarchy inside the world's most secretive combat search and rescue units. You don't want to miss it.